Hi everyone, my name is Taylor and I'm here to make my second video. Ooh, how amazing. What kind of intro is this? Anyways, as you may or may not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I thought I would just make a little video talking about it, and I know the Buddy Project is also doing videos every day, I think, about mental health, so I will link that down below if I find that information. So I kind of want to just talk about mental health generally, and I just wanted to inform you because there's kind of like a stigma around it. Like, there's some people who don't even believe in mental health, which is kind of like insane. But you know, everyone has their beliefs, but still I would like to inform everyone about it and just talk about it, get the word out there, get people talking, you know? So I have a little paper because last time I recorded, you might have seen there's really bad jump cuts. That's because I kept getting really off topic or I kept forgetting what I was saying. So this time I have a paper, keep me on track, and I got some stuff from other websites, so I will link the websites I use below for these little tips on mental health. And this time I'm going to try very hard to make eye contact with the camera, because I know last time I was just like, oh yeah, and blah 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 blah. So blah 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 and then giggle. Yeah, exactly, that's how it went. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best. And I'm outside today because here where I am in California, it's been non-stop raining, so I wanted to change it up and go outside and film a video because it's a good excuse to be outside, and I love the weather right now. And I'm telling you this because there's a lot of background noise from my neighbors, which is totally fine, it's their house, but you know, I just want to inform you that I'm not going to refilm this if there's a lot of noise. So, let's get into this. Mental health is basically, it's not exactly physical health, even though physical health can affect mental health, but it's just basically the well-being, or not well-being, of your mind and stuff about that. So I kind of just wanted to get into it because, like I said, there's kind of a stigma around it. Like, people saying it's not true, or people saying it's not important when people say your physical health is more important, which is arguable. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it and like say a whole bunch of little tips about how you could better your mental health. I was like, is there a word for that? I'm like, I can just use better. So like I said, I have this website thingy is right here, so I will be referencing. So I'm so sorry if the camera's weird and I'm like, hello guys. So I'll try just to look down every once in a while. So one of the first things I found is value yourself, which, I mean, it sounds like something we all should do and we all should know, but not a lot of people do it. It's just like, I know not a lot of people like themselves, whether it's physically or mentally or anything along those lines, but it's good to be like, hey, I'm a person, I contribute to society, and I can do a lot of good things, and I probably am doing a lot of good things. And you just gotta make sure that you see yourself as important, because when you stop seeing yourself as when you start seeing yourself as unimportant, that can really take a toll on your mental health, and that's what drives a lot of people to do self-harm or commit suicide, is because they suddenly don't see themselves as important, or they see themselves as not contributing positively to their environment or the world. And honestly, I think everyone has the power to contribute something good to the world, and you shouldn't just let that go. You should just keep going at it. So make sure to value yourself. I mean, self-criticism is sometimes good to help you strive to be a better person, but it's not always good when you're constantly putting yourself down. It's good in the sense when you're like, yeah, I could do better next time, but I tried my best this time. That's kind of cheesy, but it's true. These things are cheesy things for a reason, because they're said over and over again, and then people are like, wow, that's such a cliche, or that's so cheesy. I hear that so often. And you hear it so often because it's so, so, so important. And I noticed in my last video I said so, so, so a lot. So I'll try to restrict myself on that. The next one is, I talked about earlier, how physical health can affect mental health, so which they aren't the same thing, but they can affect each other. So physical health is eating right, so making sure you eat your fruits and vegetables, yeah, but making sure you're eating enough nutrition every day, you're exercising. Everyone says 60 minutes a day. That seems like a lot, but if you just do it in like little increments, I think that's the word, yeah. Then that could amount to that too. And like, I'm someone who's kind of like an athlete per se, and a lot of people are like, oh wait, you can't say that you're exercising all the time. It's harder than you think for some people, and it is harder than you think for some people. But even just going outside and going for a walk, like when I was in a kind of bad place, I would either go for a run or walk around my neighborhood, and that would always cheer me up because it's kind of just like time to just clear your mind. So taking care of yourself physically can help yourself mentally in that kind of way. And there's been studies, I can't reference any with 100% assurity, if that's a word, where if you're like eating healthy, you're more happy, and it's overall just really important, like eating nutritious meals, avoiding like cigarettes and like tobacco along those lines, drinking a lot of water, which I always tell people. There's this app I'm going to reference and plug down below. It's on the App Store. I'm not sure if you can get it for Android, but for iPhone it's called Plant Nanny. And you take little care of these little plants, and every time you drink like a cup of water, you press the button, you drink, and your plant will grow. The more water you drink, or your plant will die the less water you drink, which for me, I'm like, oh no, it's dying, I have to drink more water. So it's kind of like, it's kind of negative, but it's also kind of like a positive way to be like, yeah, I should be drinking water, I need to keep my plants alive. So it's kind of like, if you have a hard time doing stuff for just yourself, then you can just be like, hey, I'm doing this for my virtual plant. But that doesn't motivate everyone. But I just think, like, drinking water, if you look up studies, that was a lot of noise. If you look up studies, it like helps you so, I just did the so again. But it helps you so much, and I just want to put a lot of emphasis on that. I already talked about exercise, which releases endorphins. Hey. And then getting enough sleep is also very important, which a lot of people struggle with so much. And I see it as really important. I will also link a website down below, and it's one I've been using for a few years, which my friend Hannah showed me. It's like, hey, I want to wake up at 5:30 tomorrow. So it's like, okay, so here's your sleep cycles. And because if you don't want to wake up in the middle of a sleep cycle, because that will make you really groggy and it'll mess up your mind. So it'll tell you like, okay, fall asleep. If I want to go 5:30, I think it's usually like go to bed by 10 o'clock, go to bed by 11:30, and that way you'll get the right amount of sleep cycles if you can't get a lot of sleep. So it's always good to keep that in mind, but otherwise, sleep is really, really important, and I wish more people would put emphasis on it because it really just helps you think clearer. And like some of the smartest people I know like get a good amount of sleep because they get their work done earlier instead of procrastinating, which I have nowhere to speak from because I'm a huge procrastinator, but I'm a true heavy believer. Is that a thing? Heavy believer? Very believing? Wait, I don't know. I'm very believing in sleep, and I just want to put emphasis on that. I haven't even been counting those. So I've been 1, 2. 1 was value yourself. 2 was take care of your body. 3, surround yourself with good people. Now there's a whole bunch of tweets on Twitter, if you use that are like, cut negative people out of your life, which I think is a little harsh, but like it's true. Like I've been in situations where I've had friends who were constantly putting me down, being like, wow, Taylor, you're not, how could you be this dumb? How are you not this smart? That's the same thing. Like, wow, you're such a bad runner, like blah 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 blah, you could do so much better, why are you doing this to yourself? It's like kind of that, and it's hard to cut out a friend when you're put in that kind of situation, or even a parent for that matter, but you want to be able to, if you can, surround yourself by good people, because as people say, like, you are the 10 people you hang out with the most, or the 5 people you hang out with the most, and it's true, they start to rub off on you, and if you had like these really bad habits, it might be good to hang out with some good people for a while, because they really influence you, and it's good to have good friends and a support system that can help you no matter what you're going through. And then learn how to deal with stress. Oh, I have not read this list beforehand. That's a hard one. But like way I deal with stress is I go out for runs, which can be really helpful because like when you're running, you're just like, I can't breathe. You're not, not literally, don't run until you can't breathe, but you're just like, I'm exhausted. You're not being like, oh my god, I have all this stuff, and it just kind of like clears your head, and it's not like, I have so much homework. Oh no. Or something like that, or you have an insane history project you haven't started on, which people who know me will know what I'm talking about. But stuff along those lines. So you want to like practice good coping skills, like being able to just sit down, breathe. You want to, if you have a lot of stuff you have to do, make a list, prioritize, like that kind of thing. You can probably find much more informative videos that go more in depth on these topics, but yeah, that's number 5. I skipped to number 4. This video is a mess. Okay. See, this is why you should organize and prioritize ahead of time. And I'm not sure if I just went out of frame. Give yourself. Volunteer your time and energy to someone to help someone else. So I always think it's great to help someone else. Like I sometimes will volunteer to help tutor my friends and stuff, and that always makes me feel better because it makes you're like, what going back to before, it's like, hey, I'm contributing to society, I'm doing something great, I'm helping someone, and that can always help you boost your self-confidence and being like self-importance, that's the word I was looking for, and be like, yeah, I'm doing something great and I'm helping someone and I'm doing stuff that's good for the world, and that always makes everyone feel better. I don't care who you are. I do care who you are, but I just mean like helping people just makes you feel so good, and I don't know anyone who's ever said that helping people doesn't make them feel good, but you know, there's probably someone out there. I feel like I'm going like lower and lower and lower. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear me, and this video is like 10 minutes already. Or maybe it was at 1 minute. Who knows? I ramble. Number 6, quiet mind. So it says meditate, mindful, or prayer. It's kind of religious. You don't have to do that. One thing I've always liked is meditating. Meditating is weird, but it's kind of just like sitting there with your... I think of it not as like a religious thing, it's just like sitting there with your thoughts and just organizing your mind and just being like, okay, I'm just gonna empty my mind so I don't have to think about something. It's kind of just like zoning out. I know a lot of people who actually meditate will be like, wrong, but it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna let my mind go blank for a while, and that can be healthy for you sometimes, instead of just having things like, oh no, I have to do this, oh no, I forgot to do that, oh, I have to do chores, oh, I have to clean the house, oh, I have to go help my parents, oh, I have to go help my spouse, oh, I have to do this, that. It's just sometimes good just to give your mind a break and just let you, it's kind of like sleeping, like giving your mind a break, but outside of sleeping, awake sleeping. So yeah, okay, avoid drugs. I mean, like, sometimes people, this one's debatable, but sometimes people use drugs to, like, not exactly drugs, but, like, medicines prescribed by doctors for, like, depression and stuff like that, and that's a very debatable topic, so, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting help from other people or medication as long as you're not abusing that drug and you have a prescription. And I think if you're in a really bad place, it can be really bad to start an addiction or even just start like any drug, because then you're like, oh, I can find happiness through this, and you don't learn how to exactly cope. I'm not gonna number this anymore. So, sorry if I just shifted. I just checked if there was still time, how much still time. There's always time. Time is a human constructed concept. Anyways, see, covering paper with my face again. Get help when you need it. So, just like there's doctors from when you get physically ill, there's kind of like a doctor per se when you get mentally, like if you need help mentally. So like there's counselors and there's doctors around those sorts that can help you out. You can reach out to a friend, you can reach out to a family member. You just need to know where your point is, where you're like, I need help. And you don't always have to be at your breaking point to reach out for help. You can be like, okay, I'm in a bad place. Or you can be like, I'm having a hard time doing simple tasks, and so you can just reach out then and be like, hey, I really need some help, can someone help me? And I'm sure there's someone who would be willing to help you, whether it be family, friends, or someone who's just like a counselor, which you can reach out to, which a lot of people are afraid to reach out to counselors, but I think that's great. Just have someone to talk to. That's a spider. There's a spider, I'm sorry. Just to have someone to reach out to that may not be exactly involved in the situation that you could be able to vent to. And sometimes it's easier to talk to someone who isn't in the situation, which could cause more drama or more stress, or you're worrying you're putting a burden on them, because these people are getting paid for this, they know how to deal with this, and they know how to help you. So it's never bad to reach out for help. And if you ever feel like you're in a dark place or you need some help, I'll link some crisis text lines below and some suicide call lines, yeah. And yeah, that's about it. There's just a general video on little mental health stuff you need to keep in mind, how to stay happy. I'm looking through my papers while talking to see if I missed anything, because I'm sure I did. Tracking on my words. Okay, I think that's about all. I'm sorry if this video is super long or super short, or maybe, I was gonna say, sorry if I don't upload this at all, but then who would see this? Or I'm sorry if I'm talking really quietly. I feel like my neighbors think I'm insane because I'm outside, but it's such a nice day. Okay, also recommend to go outside. It's so nice, and it puts you in perspective. It's just like, wow, the world's so beautiful. Even when really bad things are happening around you, you can just look outside and be like, wow, nature's beautiful. That was so cheesy. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like this video if you want to see more videos like this. Comment below if this helped you in any way. Maybe it didn't help you. You want some things more to add. Maybe I'll make it a second video, because there's so much to talk about when it comes to mental health. And that's about everything. Thank you for staying tuned. Bye!